Okay, this is episode 55. Chaz says anything. NFL Week 3, more parody, and then definitely. uh, sorry. Trying to get my, you know, breath. All right. Hope everybody's okay. So if you like what you see, like what you hear, please click the subscribe button on the bottom right hand corner. And we will start as usual during football season. Chaz K's 2024-2025 NFL Conference Pool Week 3 winners. You might recognize that last name. Kevin Kawas, first place with 206 points. My brother. Congratulations, Kevin. And second place, you definitely recognize that name. He's won the last 2 weeks. Mike Wojcik with 180 points got second place. So then I have their season leaders and season side pot leaders. So I have paperwork for this. I mentioned it in emails today that I sent out. First place is Mike Wojcik by a lot. He's got 622 points. Kevin Kawas is second place with 548 for the season. Third place, Michael Hearns with 494. Angelo Quinones, he's fourth place with 476, and this is where it starts to get a lot closer. Now, top four are going to place at the end of the season. So 5 through 10, Larry Blumenthal, fifth, tied with Dawn Sprague from my work that I work at Cary. By the way, Mike Kearns and also Angelo work at Cary. They got 468, so they are 8 points behind fourth place. Jeff Blumenthal, Larry's brother, is 2 points behind them. Jeff Zawinski and Carlos Colon both have 464. Khadijah, Quidada, and Patrick Dillahunt all have 460. So they are 16 points out of fourth place. First and second is obviously that's going to be tough to get to unless they start dropping Mike and Kevin. But third and fourth are definitely up for grabs. The rest, where am I? At 34 people, I'm in 26th. That's how bad I'm doing. That's how bad I did this week. I actually had my lowest point total this week, I think. Yep. No, I didn't. Last week I had my lowest point total. This week I had 126, so not much better. So let's go over my. Oh, I meant to do side pot. The side pot is at the moment, if I remember correctly, I wrote it in the email. The side pot, which is the percentage, winning percentage. Kevin Kawas and Larry Blumenthal are in first with 60.4%. Paul Gardner, Carlos Colon are third, 58.3. Joe Bonello, 54.2. What? Okay, I messed that up. So, and it's supposed to be Angelo, Jeff Zawadzki, Mike Tice, and Ralph Caprio in fifth place. Joe Bonello, 54.2, supposed to be down with Jeff Blumenthal and Tamba Martin. So, and the rest of us have 50% or below. It hasn't been a good start for a lot of us. It's not been a good start, but except for the few people that have done their picks very well. So let's go to my pick six from last week. Let's see this disaster. Well, I didn't pick the Giants, and guess what? They won. So the Giants. Is this week 4, week 3? Okay, I'm in week 3. Okay, the Giants rookie Malik Neighbors catches 2 touchdown passes. Thank God I have him on my fantasy, and he won me big points. Him and Saquon. 2 touchdown passes from Daniel Jones as Giants hold off banged up Browns 21-15. I mean, the Browns tried to come back in the fourth quarter. It had eight points. I mean, they did try to come back, but for all intents and purposes, Cooper was the only guy who did anything. He actually had 2 touchdowns. The only scores for the Browns was Amari Cooper. So that was a loss for me. New England at the Jets, I suspected. I said 28-21. It ended up 24-3. Completely annihilated the Patriots on Thursday. I mean, we talk about Rodgers, 27-35, 281, 2 touchdowns. Allen, the running back, 55 yards. And then Conklin, 93 yards. So obviously they scored somewhere else. So other players scored touchdowns. But those were the recognizable players, or the ones that were the top leaders. Let's see. So I got that as a win. And then loss, I picked New Orleans over Philly. I really wanted Beth to be on the podcast. Didn't happen. It's probably why nobody's watching right now. Start today. Who knows where he is? Brian isn't going to watch because his ex-wife isn't on. I don't know where the weather biatch is. I know she said she was going to come on. My kids, it's 8 o'clock. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think Hunter's playing baseball. Anyway, so, Philly did win 15-12 in a very weird baseball score. So that's 2 losses right there. Next, Kansas City at Atlanta. This is one of the weirdest teams in football. The Kansas City Chiefs scored 22 points and won a game in Atlanta, and their defense just did enough to win that game. If you look at Kansas City and how they've played over the last 3 weeks, they've won their games in total, if I'm correct on this, by 8 points. 5 here, 1 last week, and 2 in the first game. Like, the Chiefs are barely winning. Yes, okay, a win is a win is a win. I get it. But, and I've also heard and read and through social media and everywhere else, well, you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Yes, you can. He's underperformed in 3 games. And I'll get into Kansas City's game this upcoming week, but he's underperformed in 3 games. How do I know this? I have him on my fantasy team. He's gotten no more than 20 points in 2 of the last 3 weeks. It's pathetic. The only reason I won this week is because Saquon Barkley got 53 points. He got a quarter of my point total. So that's the crazy part with that. And like I said, did I not even go over? Hold on. I didn't even go over the Philly stuff. Okay, hold on. So, yeah, Philly. Saquon Barkley's 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns lift the Eagles over Saints. Those touchdowns plus everything he did that game. Barkley, 17 carries, 147, 2 touchdowns. Apparently that equals 53 points. That was amazing. And I'm very thankful that he did that. Not thankful that he didn't do that on my team, but it is what it is. I can't change the past. I cannot change the past. I have to move forward. So I got a win with Kansas City. Yay. Jacksonville at Buffalo. I said Buffalo 24-17. I never thought Jacksonville would be that bad in any game because of how I thought they were supposed to be decent under Doug Peterson and with Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback. And they don't use their tight end for whatever reason because I just picked him up and he didn't do jack. Like they just didn't throw to anybody. Well, let's see the highlights of this game, if there is any. ETN had 68 yards rushing for Jacksonville. Kirk, the wide receiver, had 79 yards. They threw for 1 touchdown. Oh, I don't know. They might have run. Actually, they might have run for that touchdown. There was no throwing for the touchdown. But if you had Josh Allen, 23 of 30, 263 for 4 touchdowns, he had a game. He truly had a game. So I got that win. But like everybody except for Kevin, my brother, I picked Cincinnati to beat Washington, thinking that another. Now it's 2-0 Baltimore against the Yankees. Anyway, everybody thought Cincinnati, the Houday guys, would actually show up. But what did they do? Not just not show up, at least defensively, but they couldn't do jack anywhere. Like there was no stopping the Commanders. 7-14, 7-10. Scored in every single quarter they scored. Okay, Bengals 7-6, 7-13. They had an offense. No doubt they had an offense. But the lack of defense on the Bengals is disturbing. Like, I didn't see this the first 2 weeks. It just seems to have gotten worse and worse. That's where they're going to have to look to figure out what to do with the Bengals. Because the Commanders looked more than decent. Jaden Daniels looked better than the second pick that he was. I mean, and Burrow had more yards only because he had to pass more. 29 of 38, 324, 3 touchdowns. But again, you should win a game doing that. He didn't. The Bengals are going to get their points, but the Bengals are going to have to stop everybody so they can get their points, and that's what we're going to see if this continues. So I went 3 for 3. I'm 8 for 10 after 3. Not good. This is not good for me to be 8 for 10 after 3. All right, my pick 6 for next week. I'm hoping I do better. I did my picks already. I looked over sheets from weeks 1, 2, and 3 to see if there was anything I needed to do to, adjust my thinking on certain things. Here it is. My pick 6 for NFL Week 4 is Dallas beating the Giants. I have Dallas beating the Giants 28-24. Why do I have Dallas beating the Giants 20-24 in New York? Simply put, Jim LeBruno, I'm going by your theory. If I pick against the Giants to win, they will win. Let's see if that happens yet again. I don't know. Denver at the Jets. I think Denver had a good game this past week. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't think they're not. The Jets are just that good. And if you notice, at Giants, at Jets. So the Giants are playing Thursday night. And then the Jets play Sunday. So they're one of the few times you have the Giants and the Jets playing a home game on the same weekend. Just because the Giants are playing on Thursday. So they have the time to transfer over from Giants to Jets. I think Jets will definitively beat Denver. And they'll be one of the top teams. They'll be probably higher than the Chiefs. Even though they're not undefeated. I think that team could be higher than the Chiefs in ratings, depending on where they're at. Tennessee at Miami. Effectively, Miami's on their third quarterback. Tua's out, and now so is whoever. Oh, I can't even remember. Let me see if I can find it. Who played? I passed the Dolphins. Where are the Dolphins? Come on. Oh, they're right there. Completely passed them. Another quarterback injury, Mike McDonald. Why can't I get... I might have to click the Dolphins. It's not telling me where their quarterback... Okay, Tua is not their quarterback anymore. Maybe I need to do round depth chart. Let's see. Wonderful home run by Aaron Judge. Thank God. What is it? 2-1. Okay, 2-1 Orioles. Let's see. Okay, so Skylar Thompson got hurt. He's questionable for next week. Tyler Huntley is the next guy up, and backing him is Tim Boyle. I'm going to tell you right now, Miami is not winning. Tennessee, they're a strong enough team. Levis is good enough to go into Miami and win this game. I'll get to the comment in a minute. Seattle at Detroit. Detroit's gonna. This is one of the two games that is on the slate for um Sunday or Monday. Sorry, actually, so is Tennessee Miami. So I suspect Tennessee Miami is going to. Like I said, that's going to be an easy win for Tennessee. Seattle at Detroit. Seattle has been playing well. I think they're undefeated, if I'm correct too. Detroit is strong enough. This is a comeback game for them. I think they will. So Detroit wins, I think, 31-21. The next two are the toughest games of the week to pick because of exactly how they all, you know, are dealing with what they're dealing with. Buffalo was good. They were really good in that game against who'd they play? Crap. um Baltimore played oh god. Week 3. Yes, week 3. I don't need Miami. Sorry about this, guys. I don't want to see Miami's page. Let's get back to week 3. There we go. Nope, that's week 4. Little slow today. Do apologize, guys. Oh, that's right. That was his 56 home run. Okay. Baltimore played. Got a car coming in behind me. Ravens played the Cowboys. Okay, so let's put it this way: Ravens were good enough to beat the Cowboys on the road. I think they could still beat Buffalo because Buffalo they had a game of a lifetime against a team that probably wasn't part of their realm when it comes to the NFL world. Baltimore will have enough to win, in my feeling. They're going to be home. The home team's got to start winning. Period. Home team's got to start winning, and then Kansas City at the Chargers. This is a for intent. This is a division game, and the Chargers they're good enough. They have a good offense. I just suspect Mahomes is going to have a game. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, and people can look this up. SoFi, he does well at. So when I say he, Mahomes. So that's my pick 6. I'm hoping I do better. I would like to go 6-0. It would be nice. Nice hat. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Start today. Appreciate it. Okay. So that's my pick 6 for this week. All right, let's talk about the rest of the NFL that I didn't already talk about. So let's get into it. Patriots, Jets, I talked about that game. 24-3, Jets pretty much dominated. Giants, Browns, there's not much more to say. Neighbors had a game. Jones was good enough, and the defense held when they had to. Packers, Titans. Titans are 0-3. And that's why I said that I think that they're going to get their first win against Miami. Miami's going to be what's going to help them out. Will Levis is not a bad quarterback. Will Levis can play. He's just not elite. He's not one of those top guys. He's probably a 3rd or 4th tier. But he's going to have to have a team around. He's lost a lot. D. Hopkins. Looks like that's his lone guy. So, I mean, Titans are going to be tough team down the road. They're going to be one of those middle of the road teams, just probably like the Giants. They're going to be a middle road team. Bears, Colts. Colts win 21-16. Bears are 1-2. Colts are 1-2. Caleb had a game, 30. But here's the problem. And most football fans know this. If you throw for more than 40, more than likely you lost the game. He threw for 52. He had 52 attempts, 33 of 52 for 363. He had one of those games where he had to throw, and his running back didn't do anything. And I have his running back, and I'm glad I benched him. Taylor for the Colts, 23 for 110. See, they had enough, 7-7-7 in the second, third, and fourth. So they scored a touchdown each quarter from the second to the fourth. They had drives that were they were finishing. And this is the thing with the NFL. When you're a professional team, you need to finish your plays. You need to finish drives. And I'm going to get in that in two games. Texans got destroyed by the Vikings. Darnold is no joke. Minnesota is put him on the map. Justin Jefferson was not even the best receiver. Stephon Diggs, 10 receptions, 94 yards. And Darnold apparently had a manageable game with 4 touchdowns, but CJ Stroud is up here 20 of 31 with 215. Like, this is a legit team now. The Minnesota Vikings are no joke. The Minnesota Vikings are probably going to win the NFC North. I didn't call that. Never would have called it. I was really thinking Chicago and Detroit. Detroit, I think, still has a shot. Detroit still has to win a lot. Minnesota is the team in the lead right now. Next game, and this is where I'm going to reference back the Eagles and Saints. For my wife's sake, Sirianni, I know you don't watch this. I know Philly people don't watch this. But if someone does, you need to listen to your fans. The ones in New Jersey, the ones in Philadelphia, probably your team you need to listen to. 4 words I'm going to say. 4 words that Sirianni needs to understand when he's 4th down and 5 on his 40. Or the opposite. I'm sorry. The opposite team's 35 or 40. You have a kicker. Josh Elliott can kick the ball for a field goal. You win games by getting points. If you're 4th and 5, I don't want to hear analytically we have a go. The only team that did that right this weekend was Washington. Philly went 1 for 4 in 4th down plays 2 weeks ago when I saw it. I'm almost positive they went 1 for 2 or 0 for 2 this past game. And Saquon Barkley's not going to get you every time that 4th down. Like, let's not be stupid here. Like, Sirianni, he doesn't, I don't think he gets it. He's this analytical guy that, and I'll be nice. Analytics works in baseball to a degree. And it doesn't work in the playoffs. We've seen this over and over. Oakland, when they were winning, didn't work in the postseason. But analytics is a hit or miss thing in football. If you're 4th and 1, 4th and 2, go for it. You're at least within 6 feet. Anything more than 6 feet, you better have a good contract that you're not going to get fired. And I don't think Sirianni has that. I'll get to the other games in a minute. Let's see what the comment is. Dallas can kick a football. Dallas has more issues, and did I get to the game? I don't think I got to the game. Dallas has more issues than their kicker. And you saw that game because you kicked their butt last week. They got way more issues than that kicker. Okay, I'll get off the Eagles. They eventually did beat the Saints. They scored 15 points in that 4th quarter. They were down. I think it was 7. No, I don't even know when they scored their points. But the Saints scored their points. It was a bad game, other than Saquon doing what he was doing, and thankfully he scored 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter there. All right, Steelers, another shock, 3-0. beat the Chargers 20-10. Chargers couldn't get out of their own way. Did nothing in the third and fourth quarter. Justin Fields looks like the guy. Plain and simple, Justin Fields looks like the guy. See, out of mind, out of sight. I forget who their backup. Oh, Russell Wilson. We're not seeing Russell Wilson, I don't think, for the rest of the year, unless Justin gets hurt. Okay, Broncos beat the Buccaneers. One of the true shocks of this week. Buccaneers were favored. They were home. Bo Nix was not supposed to be this good. He was. Bo Nix, 25 of 36 for 216. Did enough to win, and the defense of the Broncos kept him to one touchdown in the second quarter, and that's it. Good for the Broncos. Like that was not expected. And Lutz had 4 field goals, so that helps too. Panthers shockingly beat the Raiders. Here's another shock. Raiders were favored at home. One quarterback did all that. Andy Dalton. If you haven't heard of him or thought he was retired, guess what? He's back. Andy Dalton passes for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the Panthers past the Raiders 36-22. 26 of 37, 319, 3 touchdowns. That's a midseason quarterback right there. That's Pat Mahomes midseason. Andy Dalton. If he can keep doing this for a while, you want to talk about comeback of the year? My God. Okay, another 3-0, which it goes in line with my Dolphins stuff, and I'm sure my buddy Tim is lying in doldrums, and he's not going to want to watch football games for the next 6 weeks. The Seahawks beat the Dolphins down 24-3. Geno Smith looking like he's Geno Smith from 2 years ago. After he left the Giants. 26 of 34. Is there another home? Oh, someone's out. Okay, sorry. I saw someone running around the bases. Charbonnet. I picked him up. I think I drafted him, actually, Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet. 19 carries, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. I got some good points this week. My fantasy team was the best team in my league. 210 points. I've never done 200 points, period, in any fantasy in 4 years. So I had a good week, and whoever I beat, I beat him down. Like I beat him by 90. That's how many points I beat him by. That was insane. Okay, we got a couple more games. Ravens beating the Cowboys, 28-25. What happened to the Ravens defense? 3 points, 3 points, 0 points. So by the third quarter, there's only 6 points scored. They gave up 19 in the fourth. It was that close at the end of the game. Derrick Henry, though, good for him with the Ravens. 25 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is why I feel the Ravens are going to go somewhere. You got a guy similar to Saquon who can do what Saquon can do, and he's older and he's more experienced. Derrick Henry's that guy. I would have loved to see Derrick Henry as a Giant. It is what it is. We got Singletary. And Singletary's not bad, but he's not Derrick Henry. Cowboys, they can't get out of their own way. Dak Prescott, 28 of 51, 379, 2 touchdowns. Again, 51 attempts. That means you were coming back and you didn't win. It happens. Dallas fans, I know Stephen A. Smith has given you grief. I know other people have too. If you can't get out of your own way, what's the answer? And I've read this in a couple different places. I don't know the sources, how good or not good they are, so I'm going to call it a rumor. I've read that Jerry Jones is looking to sell. If that's true, or that is soon to be true, we'll see. I'm very curious on what that entails. You know, if he were to actually sell the Cowboys. Now, let's be real. If he were to, and we look, Cowboy fan of mine, Paul, who's in my pool, we looked this up today. What they could actually sell for. They're actually probably the number one team in in the United States, not the world, because the world there's a couple soccer teams probably better or more financially stable. They're worth 10.1 billion dollars, which the Yankees are only 7.4 to 8.5. So if that's true, I think that's going to help the Cowboys in the long run. But what's going to help them in the short run is just them having a defense. Like, you can't be giving up 28 points every game. That you're going to be the worst team in the NFC East. The Giants aren't even going to do that. The Giants held Washington to 21, 7 field goals. If they can do that, then they can do anything. Okay, let me see this comment. Dude, I don't got the money to buy Dallas. Would you change the name if you bought them? No. If I bought them, they'd still be the Cowboys. But I'm not buying. I would never want to buy into it. You know who might buy into it, and I'll put it out there and think about it because he is a fan of the team. LeBron James could buy the Dallas Cowboys with a consortium of people. Hell, put Tiger Woods in that consortium. Tiger Woods and LeBron James, I think, would be a good sell on that team. Another comment? Or would you relocate them? No, I wouldn't. Like I said, I wouldn't buy them. I wouldn't relocate them. I wouldn't go near the Cowboys because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I'd buy a team on, okay, Kevin. Anyway, I wouldn't buy him at all. Honestly, I'd probably buy into baseball. I wouldn't buy. What is Giants injuries? Okay, I could care less. Okay, I'll think about that later. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna even entertain that, dude. I'm not entertaining that. Lions beat the Cardinals. Kyler Murray is not bad. He's just not going to win games. He'll win some games. He's not going to win games. The Lions beat, thank God. They're 2-1. I think they're a better team than they've been given credit for. The Lions should do well, and like I said, they're playing at home this week. Chiefs at Falcons. Sorry start today. The Chiefs know how to win, and they know how to hold. This is why they've won 3 games with 8 points total. They theoretically should get better. It's going to take time for whatever reason. I don't know if it's, and the defense is holding its own. Falcons only scored 17 points. All you had was Cousins throwing actually very accurately 20 of 29, 230 and 1 touchdown. The problem is you couldn't score anything else. And I'm sure that was the issue you were seeing on Sunday night. Bills destroy the Jaguars. I can't even talk about how or why. I mean, and good for DeMar. Why am I forgetting his name? He got his first interception of his career a year after he almost died. So, why am I forgetting names? DeMar. I know it's DeMar. I just don't know the last name. And then, like I said, the shocker Commanders beat the Bengals. Like this was a lot of scoring. 71 points. You don't see 71 points. Hell, Bills didn't even have with their game. They got 57. You don't see 71 points scored in the game. That's a rarity. Anything over 60 is a rarity. You'll see 7-0 or 7-3 games more than you'll see 71 points scored. Like Daniels went off. Daniels had a game. And he's really only got one receiver in McLaren. Everybody else is not the prototypical wide receiver. I think the Giants have more wide receivers than the Commanders do. So good for them. That was a good game. Next week, like I said, I gave you my pick 6. Let's see, going into next week, obviously Thursday game, Cowboys at the Giants. It's going to be interesting to see, the Cowboys that be able to run the ball, okay? Because if they're a single type of offense where they're just throwing the ball, our defense will pick that up. And Prescott won't be able to do anything. He's going to get sacked. Like I said, I'm predicting the Cowboys win for the simple fact that I picked against the Giants last week and they won. I'm seeing if that works. The spread is -6 for the Cowboys. So they're giving the Giants 6. The total spread total points is 44.5. I would actually go with, what did I pick? Oh, I didn't pick a score on that. I would probably go the under on that. 44.5. I'd go under. 2 more comments. My memory is going to, I walked out with the shoes the other day. I didn't know until I got into my car. Yeah, I did. Jets, Broncos. Jets are giving 7.5 to the Broncos. And I suspect that's over 38.5 total. I'd go over on that one. Atlanta giving 1.5 to the Saints. Who did I pick? I'll give that away since let's see. New Orleans and Atlanta for week 4. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. I picked it. I picked New Orleans. Sorry to start today. I picked New Orleans. Derek Carr, he's legit. And that team, they're offensively good. And granted, I know Atlanta is too. But the Saints defense is pretty good. I mean, they held the Eagles to 15 points. Okay? So if they can hold the Eagles to 15 points, it's going to be a good game. Now, like I said, the 1.5, I think the Saints win, so the Saints would get the spread, in my opinion. And 42.5, I'm going under. For the simple fact, I think it's going to be a pretty defensive game. I don't think it's going to be 15-12, but I can see 2017. I can absolutely see that. Rams at Bears. Rams are. I think I picked the Bears. But the Rams, they're hurt. There's a lot of hurt players on that team. That's why the Bears are giving 2.5. Vikings. Here, okay. I don't know about what Vegas is doing, and I'm basing this off of ESPN.com right now on Tuesday. The Packers are the favorite by 2.5 to a 3-0 Vikings team. How do you not take the Vikings on anything? And then 43.5 is the total. It's going over. Because Green Bay is going to be in that game offensively, and so is Minnesota. Steelers and Colts. Pittsburgh is 1.5 favored. Indianapolis, not easy to beat it in Indianapolis. That's why it's probably like that. I'd probably still pick Pittsburgh because I don't think Indy's got it. Eagles at Bucks. Honestly, it should be the Eagles. On paper, it should be the Eagles. But we've seen what Tampa Bay's done. They had a little hiccup last week. They're home. I think they have a shot. I think it's another close game. 2.5. It's a field goal game. And this is where I'm going to say, again, Sirianni. Use Josh Elliott. I'm saying Josh. It's Jake Elliott. Beth's not on, so she hasn't said anything yet. Use Jake Elliott. It ain't going to kill you to get 3 points here or there. It ain't going to kill the fantasy guy who has Jake Elliott either. Bengals 0-3 at the Panthers 1-2. Cincinnati's -4.5 away. Really? If Andy Dalton's still Andy Dalton and they're playing in Charlotte and that Bengals defense is not good, are we really sure the Panthers aren't winning this game? I might have picked what did I pick? Okay, I picked Cincinnati. But I feel losing the way they lost that they're going to get their heads out of their you know what. I don't know if that's an iffy game, and I have that a number higher than I probably really should. But I'm still going to go with the Bengals on that. Jaguars 0-3 against the Texans. You would think this is in division, but the Texans should win this game. They got a better team. CJ Stroud's just had a bad week last week. They got a better team, period. Commanders at 4 o'clock on Fox can actually go 3-1 again, and if they beat the Cardinals. The Commanders, I'm saying it now, they could go 3-1. Do I have Washington? I do. I'm actually confident in Washington. This could be a scary game if the Commanders are 3-1. And I'll be hypothetical, and I don't think this is going to happen either. Philly, let's say they lose. So that would be 2-2. And the Commanders would be on top of the NFC East. How weird would that be in 2024 that the Commanders could actually be in first place for the first time in, 20 years? I mean, when was the last time Washington was? I can't remember the last time Washington was. It was in my lifetime. I know that. I just don't think it was before 2000. It had, or after 2000. I think it was before 2000. Commanders. I mean, my cousin, and I think it's my cousin Mike, because I think my cousin Matt's the Cowboys fan. My cousin Mike should be ecstatic that the Commanders might be doing as well as they're doing right now. Okay, Patriots at the Niners. How are the Niners 1-2? Like, the one game they won is the Jets. This should be a bounce back game for San Francisco. Should be. But they're hurt. They have a lot of players hurt. Patriots are the Patriots. Purdy's hurt. So this could be a problem. But I think the Niners should figure it out. Another 1-2 game on CBS at 4:25. Browns at Raiders. We thought the Raiders could win at home. But they didn't show it this past week. And then the Browns got run over by the Giants. We'll see. CBS. This will be this Tony Romo game. Chiefs at Chargers. You know Tony Romo's all over this game. Which means so the 405 Fox. So that means the Tom Brady Fox game will be Patriots at Niners. That's funny. That's a little apropos there. So Chiefs at Chargers, CBS in SoFi. You can't tell me Mahomes isn't showing up for this. Like, it's absolute Mahomes over Herbert. I'm taking Mahomes all day, every day. Herbert will probably light it up. He's got the players to do it. He's got Dobbins as running back, and he's got other players. But Mahomes has more. But here's the problem. And what he's done this year so far is not, it doesn't blow up at you. Mahomes, 659 yards throwing, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Those interceptions hurt. He hasn't had 4 interceptions in the September in God knows how long, if not ever. So he's got to turn that around. And I think part of it's Kelsey's got to get open. Kelsey hasn't got open in 3 games. The Peacock and an NBC game at 8:20. Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. Probably the best game of the night. Or day, for that matter. Probably the best game of the day. I'm going Baltimore for the simple fact Baltimore has more studs. They got Derrick Henry. They got Lamar Jackson. That should overwhelm the Bills' defense. Should overwhelm. We'll see if they do. Then you got the crap game, which should be an easy pick, although the Titans are 0-3 on Monday night at 7:30. Dolphins are 1-2 on their third-string quarterback. It should be Titans by default, but we don't play by default. Dolphins could actually end up winning this game and screwing a lot of people up. And then 8:15, which confidence pool players, remember, second week in a row, the last game of Monday night is the total points pick. So the total points would be for the game for the Seattle Seahawks versus Detroit Lions. That's your total points. So Seahawks are 3-0, Detroit's 2-1. That's a really good game, but that Detroit should probably win that by 3 or 4 points. It's a 3.5 spread. it's a 3 or 4 point game, in my opinion. All right, so that's the news and notes. There's really no, I mean, like I said, Miami has their third string quarterback. Purdy might be down, so they might be on their second string quarterback. Oh, sorry, I'm just reading. Chris Canty, I'm tired of all the excuses for Joe Burrow, and he almost walks off the set. If you know Chris Canty, he's not a guy who keeps his stuff up his sleeve. He lets everything out, and yeah, there's no excuse for Burrow, but I don't think Burrow's the issue. I think it's the defense. Burrow has the numbers, so. And like I said, there's really no stories. There's no, it's a lot of breakdown from Peyton and Belichick. So there's no stories in the NFL other than what's coming up next week. Okay. All right. I spent a whole 45 minutes on week 3. There was a lot of week 3 to talk about. All right. Let's go over these somewhat quickly. I lost a lot this weekend in college. What we got comment? Where is the Super Bowl this year? I think it's New Orleans. Okay, I'm not gonna keep answering really vague questions. Like you can look that up on Google. I'm almost positive it's New Orleans, but don't get me. It could be West. It could be Vegas. Actually, I think it's Vegas. If I'm correct, it's Vegas. Anyway, let's keep to where we're at. NCAA Week 4 college football picks. I lost the first 3. South Alabama won and destroyed Appalachian State 48-14. On Friday, Illinois beat Nebraska, 22nd ranked Nebraska, in overtime 31-24. Stanford beat Syracuse in Syracuse 26-24. Lost 3 games in a row. Okay. Thank God I got this one. Ohio State actually gave up 14 points, not 13, and won 49-14. Got that game. TCU at SMU. I thought TCU would, the name that they are, I thought they'd win. Nope, SMU destroyed them and actually put up a big offensive number. 66 points. 66-42. Crazy. This must have been the story, and I just didn't see it because I wasn't watching. I looked at the scores today. Tennessee beat Oklahoma. Wait, Tennessee beat Oklahoma? Hold on. Did I write that wrong? I think I wrote that wrong. It's my fault. Because I put it as a loss. Oh yeah. I thought Oklahoma was gonna win. 6-15. Yeah, Tennessee did win. Okay. I thought this was going to be the upset, one of the upsets of the week. It wasn't. It was close. 25-15 is pretty close. Now that's an odd number, 15. And 25 is odd. Like, here's the thing. Super Bowl. Let's think about Super Bowl. 25-15, 5-5. You never see 5-5, but there you see 5-5. So I lost that because I picked Oklahoma to win. I got the win here, obviously pretty easy. Ole Miss beating Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's not the best of teams. Beating 52-13. 2 more comments. You're so mean. Still love your show. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not talking about stuff that's in the future. I'm not like big future. You can Google that stuff. I don't need to be talking about that if it's not in my banners. Okay, dude, I'm not talking about it unless it's a question on something else random. Like you want to talk to me about not another stupid home run from the Orioles. Sorry, the Yankees are not helping either. Rutgers beat Virginia Tech a little too close than I thought, but they're still undefeated. Good for them, 26-23. Georgia Tech actually kept it somewhat close. Louisville should have probably beat them by more. They didn't. 31-19. Lost this one. I really thought Northern Illinois, coming off that, Big Notre Dame win. Or no, was it Northern Iowa? What was someone in the Midwest? But Buffalo won that in overtime. So I got a loss there. Next, we got Utah. Got the win over Oklahoma State. Now, again, I had a 3-point game. It ended up being a 3-point game, just a lot lower. Win with Miami over South Florida. If I keep picking Miami, I think I have a shot to keep doing well. And LeBruno would love that. So, Miami at South Florida. Miami won 50-15. Monmouth actually has an offense. Go figure. And I didn't see them on the schedule this week. They might be off. I don't know. But they did beat Florida International, beat an FBS team. They're an FCS team. They beat them 45-42. Very good. I applaud you, Monmouth University. Okay, loss here. I thought USC was going to beat Michigan. I was wrong. Michigan won 27-24. UCLA did lose within a pretty decent game, too. I had them as 42-21. They lost 34-17, so they lost by half. It's pretty close. I got the win with Miami of Ohio. Notre Dame. Notre Dame finally has a defense. They beat them 28-3. Okay. Next, I got one more after this. NC State at Clemson. Clemson kind of lost their defense. They're giving up 35 points. That's a lot of points to give up to an NC State team. But they won, so that's good. Florida at Mississippi State. I thought this would be close. I was wrong. Florida kind of took it to them. So Florida won that game. Kent State lost to Penn State. Way worse than I expected. They got shut out. And then last, University of Louisiana Monroe. I thought was going to get shut out. I was close. 51-3. That was pretty good. Portland State, Boise State. Boise State won, and now they're in the top 25, so good for them. They won 56-14. Kansas State lost to BYU by a lot more than I thought. BYU also now moves up into the top 25. So I went 14-8 this week. Not one of my best weeks, but I'm 51-19. 728 winning percentage, so not bad. Okay, so next week, picking another 22 games. All right. Army at Temple. I got Army winning. Virginia Tech at Miami. Good luck, Virginia Tech. Washington at Rutgers. This is a primetime ESPN game. Look for Rutgers to go for. I think they're going to go 4-0, and that's going to be really good for them. Let's see. Washington. Yep, it's a. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a ESPN game. It's a Fox game. And Rutgers is 2.5 point favorite, 44.5 total. So yeah, I think they're going to go over. Kentucky, I feel will be losing to Ole Miss. Minnesota, I feel will lose to Michigan. All right, Oklahoma State, 20th ranked, I think should beat Kansas State by 5. BYU at Baylor will beat them by 2 touchdowns. Louisville against Notre Dame. Notre Dame should win that game at home. They're going to start winning these games more and more. They're going to win more than they're going to lose, period. Oklahoma at Auburn. I see Oklahoma beating Auburn, even though Auburn is tough, and that's why it's a 4-point game. Arkansas at Texas A&M. I feel Texas A&M by 10. UNC at Duke. It's one of those ACC games that you might see on a bunch of different local stations. That I think is going to be 28-19 Duke. Next, Mississippi State at Texas. It's going to be a slaughter, 67-3. Stanford at Clemson. I think Clemson wins by 2 touchdowns. Iowa State at Houston. I feel Iowa State will take them to the house, win by easily, like 4 touchdowns. Georgia at Alabama. Game of the week. Game of the week right here. I'm picking the upset. Alabama beats Georgia 31-24. Let's see what the good old line says. It's the 4 o'clock game? Let's see. No, it's 7:30 in Tuscaloosa at Alabama. Georgia's a 2-point favorite. I say take Bama and take it to the house. Penn State wins at home against Illinois. And then I have LSU beating South Alabama. Probably South Alabama may not even get that much. Last set, Florida State at SMU. I got SMU winning. Air Force at Wyoming. One of the last games of the night. I have Wyoming beating Air Force, but it wouldn't be surprised if Air Force actually does win that game. Washington State at Boise State. Expect Boise State, now that they're in the top 25, they're not going to lose many of their games. They're going to be like on point. They're going to be one of the top 12. They really going to want to be that one in that championship weekend that they're doing now with the round of 12. Utah at Arizona. I have Utah pretty much taking out Arizona, and then Oregon beating UCLA 45-21, another 22 games. Okay. Who's wearing the MLB? We all know now that it's coming down to like the last 6 games. Okay, let me get a little Pepsi. The Yankees are still down 3-1. Yankees win tonight, by the way. If you're watching, like I'm watching, or at least attempting to watch and talk at the same time. Yankees come back. We clinched the AL East. More champagne, but that would be good. Like, let's clinch now. Cole pitches in 2 days. Cole does 4 to 5 innings. We win or lose, it doesn't matter. But it'd be nice to get Cole to do well, so he goes in well. And so the Yankees, they got 92 wins. They're 6 games up on Baltimore. Baltimore slid a lot, and I think they're focused now to try to win. So they try to halt the Yankees. It doesn't seem like there's a sense of urgency right now. That's what it looks like. 3 comments. I better stop talking about my baseball for a second. Let's see. Let's go Mets. I'll talk about the Mets in a minute. So the Yankees, Baltimore, they're the top. So with 6 games to go, here are the teams that are out. There's actually a couple teams out. Toronto, out. Chicago White Sox have been out since June. And Texas Rangers. So the Texas Rangers are out. The team that won last year is now out. Oakland A's and Los Angeles Angels all out. Isn't Ohtani glad he's out of Los Angeles Angels now? So, like, the whole Central, except for Chicago, is still in. Houston and Seattle still have a shot. And the AL East, everybody but Toronto. Like, it's pretty interesting with 6 games to go for the AL. NL, the New York Mets are right in the thick of things. And it helped that they won the last couple of games this week. They've done very well. They're if I remember correctly, they're the second of the 3 playoff teams, and if they win 5 of the next 6, I think they could move up to 1, like the number 4 seed instead of the 5 seed. But now the National League is definitely more interesting. Everybody in the Central is out except for Milwaukee. Milwaukee's already clinched, and everybody else is out. So Chicago's out, St. Louis out, Cincinnati out, Pittsburgh out. All 4 teams got really good players on those 4 teams, and they're out. I mean, that's just crazy. Washington's out, Miami's out, San Francisco's out, Colorado's out. And that's out with San Francisco because they got a team. They're close. They were close this year. Like I said, the Mets, they're 5.5 back of Philly, but Philly's clinched, so the New York really just has to stay in it. They're 2 games ahead of the Braves. And I think they're playing the Braves today, or they played the Braves in the last 3 games. I'm not sure which. San Diego's still in it. See, San Diego, you don't want to face San Diego. they got a team. And any top team that's going to face San Diego, that could be a problem. The fact that Arizona's still in this, and the only reason Arizona's in this is because they're tied with the Mets. They have 87 wins too. So, then actually they have a better. They're probably the number 4 seed because they have the better. How do they have 3 less wins? That's a lot. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry, Arizona, 87-70. Mets have 87-69. Okay, so they're 1 game. Okay. So San Diego is the 4 seed. And then the Mets are the 5 seed. One comment. I'm excited. You should be, dude. You should be excited for the Mets. I mean, that's a big thing going right now. Um, I mean, the Mets are 46 wins at home, 41 on the road, a plus 82 run differential. That's damn good. Plus 82. I mean, you're close to that plus 100. So that's very good. IMDb, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, the Yankees are plus 147. Anybody else plus 100? The Milwaukee Brewers are plus 124. Dodgers are plus 133. The Arizona Diamondbacks are actually plus 101. And the Padres are plus 97. Like, you got some good teams that beat up on a lot of bad teams. Like, the Chicago White Sox are minus 320. Like, that's a minor league team right there. Another comment. Did you see what they put on Harper's stats at Citi Field? Dallas? No, I didn't see that. No. We don't get SNY unless it's on 11 or whatever else it's on. We don't get SNY here. Yeah, since YouTube TV took it off a year ago plus, so we don't see much of Mets unless Beth has it on her cell phone with Facebook, and then she could put it on the TV. So, but yeah, I don't think we've seen a Mets game in 2 days, so I don't really know what you're talking about there. So right now, I'll talk more next week about who I think is going to win what. Like, I want to see where everybody's at first, where they end up. Next week, I'll be able to talk about that. Everything will pretty much be set. That's pretty much it for that. Do I have any? I have a Tacoma one. Past defeats fuel Mets for critical series. So Tacoma put this out today. 2 series remain in the regular season. The Mets visit Atlanta for the first of them. So guys, you have Atlanta the next 3 nights. Needing only to avoid a sweep to retain control of their own destiny. That's very true. Win 2 of 3 at Truist Park, and they'll clinch a playoff spot. Lose 2 of 3, and they're still pretty good shape. Like he said, you lose all 3. That's where you start biting your knuckles. Sound familiar? It's nearly the exact scenario the Mets faced 2 years ago when the Braves swept them to deliver a near-fatal blow to their chances at the NL East title. New York ultimately had to settle for a wild card berth and crashed out of the playoffs in the first round. A round it would have skipped if they had won the division. That's true. Here's what the Mets have that the Braves and others don't. They have an exciting young group of kids, including Acuna. Like, Acuna could be something in the playoffs. He could play any position, it seems like, from what I've read and heard. He's got some pop. He's hit 2 home runs. He's a little lively. He's a lot like Iglesias, and Iglesias has actually done stuff that's not OMG related to his music career. So you got a team. What you don't have is a consistent pitching staff. That's where you're hurt as a Mets team. I've talked about this before. I know, and this is the reason that, and I know, you know what? I know the last game we watched, it was the national game. Philly and Yankee and Mets on ESPN. They were talking about, what were they talking about? Alonso's last at bat. They talked about it for like the last 3 innings of the game. And if I'm Alonso, and this is me, so if I'm Alonso, what I would say in my free agent year, Okay, and I'll be very blunt saying this. I will sign with the Mets multi-year XXX, whatever the number is, if and only if you get me 2 frontline starters to go with Senga. Okay, like the guys they got now, other than Severino, and he might be hurt again. I don't remember. You need 2 frontline starters, guys like Paul Skeens, guys like Garrett Cole. You need those guys. You need them younger, and you need them next year because you don't have them this year. You need a 3 or 4 line core of pitchers like the Yankees do, like the Dodgers do, like the Phillies do. I mean, and I say Yankees in quotes because we really have 2, but 3 you could stretch. As living with a Mets fan, married to a Mets fan, and around their whole family, I know enough to know that's what you need. So that's what he should wait for when he's signing at the December or January of next year. But until then, you still have a pretty gritty team. Go try to do something. Try. Once you get in, and this goes for everybody, including my team, once you get in, anything can happen. MLB playoffs have proved that time in and time out. Just go hit. Go pitch. Do whatever you do best. Do whatever your talent is and do it well. You have the analytics that you can go by. You have what you know. You have what you've done. Just go do it. It's as simple as that. You've made it to that far, to the professional level. Just go do it. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Comment. Senga. Yeah, you need Senga. Absolutely, you need Senga. And he needs to get to a 5-day rotation, not the 6 that he's used to. When I learned from it, and this is a quote, sorry, just to not put too much pressure on it, outfielder Brandon Nimmo said, I think the experience of going through that for the guys who were here is going to help. Yeah, they have enough people there from the Showalter team in 2012, who was replaced by Mendoza. Severino's played in the playoffs. Manaya's played in the playoffs. Lindor, obviously. I mean, you got a core of people. Utilize that core and just go. Just get it done. Take one game at a time. Not hard to do. JD Martinez, he's not the shell of what he was, but he can get you to the next level. Not that hard, and I'm sure Mendoza can figure this out. Looking back at did his same course for this year's team. He just goes on and on. Let's see. Okay, here's another one. Nice for the Mets fan. Trivia. Who has the most home runs, as a Met at Truist Park? Atlanta's park, Truist Park. Is it Pete Alonso, Asdrubal Cabrera, Francisco Lindor, or Brandon Nimmo? I have a guess. And Cabrera, that's going to throw you. Like, the Cabrera answer is going to throw you. Because he played for the Mets for a short time, but he might have actually hit more home runs. Nimmo, he's not the home run hitter. Lindor hasn't been there that long. Obviously, Alonso has. He's the easy answer. But is it Alonso? I'm going to go with Alonso, but I think Cabrera could be the answer. Let's see. Oh, you got an answer? Let's see. Cespedes? Okay, really? It's not Cespedes. The answer, you're kidding. It's not what I said, and it's definitely not what you said. It's Brandon Nimmo. He has 7 career home runs in Atlanta, including 2 on April 8th of this season. I never would have thought Brandon Nimmo was the answer to that. Wow. Okay. That threw me. All right. Where am I at next? Okay. Let's talk a little WWE. It can be semi quick. Bad Blood. Again, not this Saturday, next Saturday, October 5th, exclusively on Peacock. The matches right now: Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. This is the catch. They talked about it this week. It's hysterical. I don't know how it's going to look, but I can't wait to watch it. With Dirty Dominic Mysterio suspended above the ring in a shark cage, so he doesn't interfere. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. This happened 2 weeks ago. I think I might have talked about it. Against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Going to be interesting to see if the other two of the bloodline, the new bloodline, show up. Does Jimmy show up to help out Roman and Cody? Does Jay show up? Does other people show up? Like, Bad Blood right now it's small. This is really going to be the one leading into Survivor Series. Okay? So won't be that big of a show necessarily, but it's going to lead to more storylines, my guess, because as we've noticed, it's only one sect of okay. They're all SmackDown, I think. No. Sorry, 2 Raw, which is basically the same team, and then 1 SmackDown. You have a lot more people that are wrestlers. Now we do have this match as well. CM Punk will look to settle things with Drew McIntyre inside a Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. So that's happening too. That's also Raw. So you have 3 Raw matches, 1 SmackDown. You would think that there's more. Let me see if there is. I don't see it. Nope, there's no more. Which means they're going to have at least 1 or 2 more. They're going to have to add it. I'm like, you can't just have 4 matches and only one of them is from SmackDown. We'll see how that goes. Now, what happened last night and what I say here on what happened on Raw, I didn't say it there. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have. I kind of prefaced it though, and if you saw my cover for today's episode, main event Jey Uso actually won the Intercontinental title from Braun Breaker. I don't know if it's an upset. I'm loving that it happened. I wish I actually stayed up to watch. I couldn't stay awake, but I did get to see it. I saw like snippets of it all throughout today. I am ecstatic that Jey Uso got his first singles title. Congratulations, Jay. Like, that's awesome. I 14 years in the business and you finally got your first singles title. There's only up that you can go. So, and let's think about this too. There is other, like I said, there's another faction of the women where you have Nia Jax as the title holder, and you also have Liv as the title holder here in Raw. Don't be shocked if Tiffany Stratton jumps to Raw to try to take that title from either Liv or Rhea if she wins. It would be an interesting thing for her to do because she doesn't want to take it from Nia. I don't think Tiffany has the quote-unquote balls to do it. Nia's just, she's that much better. Tiffany Stratton, she has that one move, which is an amazing move. But you'd have to completely knock Nia out to get that move done. I don't know if she can knock Nia out that much. Bayley can do it. Bianca can do it. I'm not sure Tiffany, I don't want to call her Tiffy. Tiffany, I don't know if she can do it. She's got the ability, but will she have the gumption to do it? So, I'm waiting to see what SmackDown does. They got this thing with Pete Dunne and Sheamus. Maybe that would be a Bad Blood match. So, Pete Dunne and Sheamus could be a Bad Blood match. I don't see anything else unless you add the Wyatt Six with somebody. Maybe the Creed brothers. If you add the rest of the maybe you do a tag team free for all. Yeah, that would be interesting. A bunch of different tag teams because That's where you're at now with tag teams. Do a tag team free for all for like a 30-man, 15 different team free for all. I think that could be fun. And I didn't write it here, but I want to talk about this real quick. So WWE fans that know the Attitude Era, that know we're going back to the Attitude Era, going to Netflix. Do you think we need to add 2 more belts? And the belts I'm talking about are 2 belts that we've had in the past. We've had in the Attitude Era. The first one is the Cruiserweight. And I'll explain why I feel we need the Cruiserweight belt back. For the simple fact that we have multiple luchadors and other small 5'2" to 5'8" wrestlers. And I mean, like, there's a bunch of them. Xavier Woods is another one. Like Kofi's a little taller, but he's older and he's been a world champion. Xavier Woods would be a great cruiserweight champion. I don't understand why it's not coming back or hasn't come back yet. Maybe it will. Maybe Hunter's waiting for, or Paul, shouldn't say Hunter. Paul is waiting for Netflix to start up. The other one, and I know most people would love this. I might even change the name. It's 4-1 now. Gee, it's just what happens when I don't look at the phone. We could change the name. We could keep it the same. Albeit it needs to stay or be one type of belt and one type of belt only. The hardcore belt. Using chairs, using ladders, using nails, using eggshells or what, you name it, going into the back and I mean, they've started to do this already with Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed. Like, they're starting to do this again. I'd be more than okay with having it back to a relative restrictive, type. Like, you shouldn't go too far. If, you want to do first blood matches, okay, that's first blood. That means the first time you bleed. And they stop it at that point. It's not like you completely bleed all over the place. A first time blood match would be fine. We've seen it before. The only thing I'd outlaw, because it looks like it could be more damaging than anything else, is that concerto. With the 2 chairs slamming on the head. We've seen enough in head injuries. The other one is putting the head inside the chair and then slamming on the chair. I've seen that happen to Edge. I've seen that happen to Edge's wife when she was trying to back him up. I think I've seen it on CM Punk or other people. Like, that needs to go away. That does not need to stay any longer inside any wrestling ring, let alone WWE, AEW, TNA, or anything else for that matter. That can go away. I know you want to get extreme, and that to an extent I get it. That's why I want the hardcore title back. Like I said, you want to name it for, Mick Foley. You want to name it for Hardcore Holly. You want to name it for, who am I forgetting? The guy with the kendo sticks. I can't think of his name. Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman. Some of the guys from ECW. I'd be okay with that. But I think at the very start we need to get this back. And maybe I need to make a phone call to it's not 98.7 anymore. It's ESPN Radio, the Michael K Show. Talk to Peter Rosenberg, see if he could talk to his buddies at WWE and basically say, fans want the Cruiserweight title back. Fans want the Hardcore title back. Can we do this? And for all intents and purposes, I don't know how Speed is doing. And if you all know what this WWE Speed is on X, I don't know how it's doing. I mean, hell, they let go of the one guy who was actually champion for it for a while, Ricochet, and now he's on AEW. Like, And now his wife still works for WWE, which is very strange. I know it's happened before, but I don't know. It's just weird. So I think the speed needs to turn into the cruiserweight. Like let it evolve into the cruiserweight. And if you want to start it up in NXT, do it. NXT's got a bunch of stuff in the North American, the NXT champion. A bunch of stuff. You want to put the cruiserweight back in NXT first? I get it. Pete Dunne could probably win that. Also, he could also win the hardcore too. Like there are guys that can do that. There are guys that should do that. There are guys that can excel to that next level. You're not going to get guys like Dragon Lee to win the WWE Championship. He's not. He probably could win an Intercontinental if they had the U.S. title, which they had at one point. The U.S. title could do. He could win that. He can win tag team titles. Anybody and everybody has won a tag team title. But to be the elite of the elite, the top of the top, to be a heavyweight champion, you need to be a certain size. Rey Mysterio is the only one that I remember at that level of shortness that can do something like that. Jericho was taller. Eddie Guerrero was taller. They were lightweights, but they were taller. Shawn Michaels was taller. Like, they were bigger. There are a bunch of little, smaller wrestlers. Let them win more than just tag team titles. Just saying. That's my rant on that. I'm at an hour and 21 now. I still got things to go. Anyway. So, ABC tonight, again, Dancing with the Stars is on, and High Potential. Great show. If you haven't watched it, last week's first episode was amazing. I love it. I recommend it. I got to get off before 9:40 so I can mark it and go watch that show before I go to bed. But I completely recommend Dancing with the Stars. I don't recommend, but I'd be interested to see. There is a woman who's apparently a con woman as a dancer, and I'd be more than okay. And apparently she's a con woman from in international countries. If you see her, she's got a thing on her ankle because they need to monitor her. Anyway, I'd be okay if INS came in and took her out. That would be must-see TV for me. I don't know if it's going to happen. It is what it is. So this happened today. I should talk about it. Former NFL star Brett Favre revealed he has Parkinson's disease during his congressional hearing. Now, interestingly enough, it says in his congressional hearing. Why the hell is he at a congressional hearing? We'll talk about that real quick. Former NFL star and Green Bay Packers quarterback Brett Favre has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The Pro Football Hall of Famer revealed the news Tuesday while delivering testimony before Congress during a hearing addressing his alleged misuse of taxpayer funds. Favre, 54, is among 20 individuals who were sued in 2022 for what the Mississippi Department of Human Services said was, quote, gross misuse, unquote, of temporary assistance for needy family funds. Per the Associated Press, Favre argued that the state officials failed to protect federal TANF funds from fraud and abuse, and then attempted to blame him. Interesting. Quote, I also lost an investment in a company that I believe was developing a breakthrough concussion drug I thought would help others, he said. Quote, I am sure you'll understand why it's too late for me because I've recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Favre also added, this is also a cause dear to my heart. Recently, the doctor running the company pleaded guilty to taking TANF money for his own use. I believe that I got swept in the civil lawsuit, he also said. When this started, I didn't know what TANF was. Now I know TANF and is one of the country's most important welfare programs to help people in need. A representative for Favre didn't immediately respond to Entertainment Weekly's request for further comment. An audit by state officials reportedly found that $5 million in TANF funds were used to build a volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, where Favre's daughter was playing on the school's volleyball team, while another $1.7 million was given to the pharmaceutical company Prevacus. The company, which Favre was an investor in, claimed it had developed a nasal spray that could be used to treat concussions. The spray was ultimately proven to be less effective than advertised. That's a damn shame. Comment. Brett Favre? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I know. That's a damn shame. Anyway, he also, so obviously you didn't see the news today, so that this is, I saw this afternoon. It come through in one of my emails. Since 2011, his retirement from the NFL, Favre has openly discussed the lasting impact of injuries sustained during his career, telling Today in 2021 that he suffers from memory loss due to concussions. Well, they've effectively fixed that with all these new fangled helmets. There's no telling how many concussions I've had, he said, and what are the repercussions of that? There's no answer, he said. I wasn't the best student, but I still can remember certain things that you would go, why would you even remember that? But I can't remember someone that played 6 years ago, that he played with 6 years ago in Green Bay, but the face looks familiar. Those are the types of issues that make me wonder, he said. Unfortunately, I can actually relate to this. I don't think I had the concussions he did. That's why I take the Prevagen, or I have taken the Prevagen time to time. I'm 47, almost 48. I did have it. I know I had one concussion. That shouldn't be enough for me to lose memory at 47, 48 years old. But I can understand what he's going through to an extent. And it's so unfortunate that a nasal spray can't help that. And then it goes on about Parkinson's disease. Okay, so yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna keep a tab on what is going on with him. You know, that's not a good thing, honestly. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to find an email that for the next thing. I really got to start categorizing this stuff better. All right. Well, I don't see this. Um, we're going to be going soon into October. I think I talked a lot about this last week, so I'll get rid of that. I did see this on Facebook, and it's a very interesting thing. Next thing I see, I'll show you. Trivial Pursuit, hosted by LeVar Burton, premieres October 3rd on the CW. Are you in? I grew up with Trivial Pursuit. Like this, that's awesome. I love to hear that there's going to be a Trivial Pursuit game show. About time. I would hope it would be in New York, that at least be closer for me to try to attempt to be on it. You know, I can't be on Jeopardy. That's in LA. I can't be in Family Feud. That's in Atlanta. Family Feud. I would love to be on Family Feud. Oh my God, get me on that. Me and Beth and 3 other family members on Family Feud. I think we can do that. All right, I got a short birthdays of the week this week. I guess no Weather Biatch today. She did say she was going to be on, but it happened. Okay, yesterday's birthday, Frank Nissim, the son of my dad's boss way back when he was working at a job in Ocean Township. Frank, we're still family friends. He's 52 yesterday. Billy McKeon, happy birthday also yesterday. He's a bowler and former director, now a director again on Monmouth County's USBC. So happy birthday to Billy. Today's birthday, one birthday today, again on Tuesday, only one birthday. Jim Perry, friends with him on Facebook through DJ Newman and another friend, Casey, another friend of ours from down in the Howell area. And I'm gonna guess you're gonna say happy birthday to everybody. Yeah, you miss her. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. I can't help that, dude. All right, so that's happy birthday to Jim today. I did mention that he would be honey hurricane running up the coast. Would love her insight. Here's the thing, yeah, and happy birthday to everyone. I don't think that hurricane's running up the coast. I think it's coming up. It's coming up Florida and going in. It's going to hit South Carolina and go in again. It's going to be one of those storms that actually go, into and then into South Carolina and just break up, break apart. So we'll see. That's my take. I don't know how true that is. Like I said, I haven't really kept up with it yet. All right, tomorrow and beyond. So Wednesday, happy birthday to Rich Soros. He's a bowler friend of mine from the Thursday Night League at Strathmore. Michael Stone, happy birthday, 39 years old. I can't. He's only 39. To anybody who knows Michael Stone, he's a gentle giant. I believe he's like 6'6" or 6'7". He's one of the better bowlers in Monmouth County, like literally 220 average and above. I one of these days, you know what? Before you turn 45, Mike, I would love to bowl with you in the over under tournament. If you ever see this, so happy birthday to Mike Stone tomorrow. Nick Keyproth, a friend of my brother Kevin, he was on his baseball team way back when in Eatontown. I don't think he lives in Eatontown anymore, but he's an Eatontown kid from way back when. Happy birthday, 45 years old. He's probably older because my brother's only. Oh, is my brother 45 now? He'll be 45 in January. So yeah, okay, that's about right. On Thursday, another very good bowler. Look at him to be one in the Hall of Fame within the next 10 years. He's 29, so he'll be one of the younger ones to be in the Monmouth County Hall of Fame if he keeps doing well in bowling like he has been. This kid, oh, by the way, Casey Tumblety, happy birthday, 29 years old. This kid, and he's a kid to me, his 9 series game that he bowled next to me in an open tournament. It was 8. I want to say 824, 816, and then there was like a 6 something because he was exhausted. Like there was a time he had like 8 in a row for like 6 straight games. This kid is an amazing bowler. I all I can say is if you've never met Casey or you're in the bowling area, and you find out that he's in your bowling center, watch him. That's all I gotta say. Just watch him. He's an amazing bowler. Like, I wish I could be as focused as he is when he is actually bowling on the lane. Brett Pine, 25. He actually bowled another bowler. He bowled with my stepdaughter, Rochelle. So happy birthday to Brett. I almost bowled with him, except he had an issue with work, so he couldn't bowl. 2 other birthdays on Thursday. Heather Osterholtz and Becky Ostroff. Happy birthday. Both Eatontown ladies that I knew from way back when. Friday. And this gentleman right here, Todd Roman, happy birthday, is not in the area right now. He's a New Jersey boy. New Jersey man. I can't say boy. New Jersey man who is in the theater in New Jersey, but he's also a bowler. And right now he's in Disney World. So he's having a very happy birthday right now. Happy birthday to Todd. Couple more people. Next one is a Florida person, Kathy Coringa West, one of the best bowlers of the 80s and 90s, and probably 2000s too, when she was in New Jersey. One of the best female bowlers we've ever had in Monmouth County. Kathy Coringa West. It was her, Margaret Taylor, Chrissy Lee, Dottie Artali, and that's the Mount Rushmore that I can think of right now. You might have to add Leslie Bone, but she's new. She's kind of the 5th one, newer, and there's probably a couple others. Those are the 4, like Kathy. And I'm sure I'm forgetting people, and they're probably gonna like kill me for that. And that's what it is. What it is. Also, happy birthday to Jessica Sajak, formerly Jessica Morales, and Kim Catalona, formerly Kim O'Loughlin. They were classmates of mine at St. Jerome's. Kim, also, with the last name Catalona, married my other classmate, Scott Catalona. I think that's the only person I've ever known to marry a classmate that I knew either in grammar school or high school. Now, granted, I went to an all-boys high school, but I knew a lot of girls in high school that could have married other guys from my class. They didn't. 2 comments. Disney World. Yes, him and his family always go to Disney World. They've gone way more than I've been. I've only been 3 times, and that's when I was lucky. I went one time when I was in a cool place. I'm sure you did. It was a very cool place. Bet you didn't have Star Wars. Like I saw some Star Wars. I didn't get all the Star Wars that's there now, and I'm not too happy that I'm not there, but that is what it is. And okay, so nobody on Saturday, but Sunday, Brian Olson and Jason Barra, 2 bowling guys I know. 37 for Brian, and Jason Barra turns the big 5-0. Happy birthday, guys. All right, this is it. I'm spent. I had a day today. If anyone wants to join me in the conversation, contact me, chazroyalty@gmail.com. We got a lot to talk about with football today. I don't know what else I could have said or done. I hope I do better this week. I hope we all do better this week. Again, congratulations to Kevin. Congratulations to Mike again. 1st and 2nd place in the confidence pool. Don't forget, if you're in the confidence pool, get it in by 8:15 on Thursday. 6:30, I start sending out text messages. 7:45, I put in the favorites if you haven't done it yet. So most of all of you are paid, and I'll do that for that. Comments from Mr. Start today. I appreciate you, Chaz. Best part of my Tuesday. I appreciate that. All right. So again, next week, September 24th, episode. Hold on. This is episode 55. I didn't change that. There we go. Next week, episode 56, September 24th, will be. Oh, God. I didn't even change the date. Oh, my God. This is how tired I am, guys. If I'm correct, next week is. Yes, that's what I thought. Oh. Did not even see that come at all. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now I can show it. Episode 56. Next week, October 1st at 8 p.m. Episode 56 will be the last time you see me at the age of 47. Just saying. Next week, that will be it. I need a Red I got a Pepsi. This will last me until I go to sleep at 11 o'clock tonight. Yeah, Red Bull will keep me up way longer than I need to. Anyway, so like I said, next week, episode 56, we'll have week 4 of the confidence pool, week 4 ending of the NFL. In October, there's a lot of things going on. Next week, I will announce this next week. I'm going to talk about something about Beth, that she's getting, I'll say this, she's getting inducted into something, okay? She's getting inducted into a Hall of Fame. I'm not going to say where, I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say what. But I'll get more into that next week, and I'll talk about that next week so that she gets the proper designation, as long as the other people as well that she's going in with. But yeah, Beth is going into a Hall of Fame in October, on October 13th, and that's where I'll leave it. You'll have more details next week, all right? And I see 2 people on. Beth might be one of them right now. All right, so it's been a pleasure, everybody. Hopefully I'll bring New York back next week. It'll probably be cooler, so I'll be shutting the windows, and I'm very warm. Like I said, it's been a long day. My throat is going. I can feel it. And just have a rest of a good week. Wrestling next week. For more football. Rutgers on Friday. Go Rutgers. I can't wait to see that. Everybody have a good night. I'll see you on the 1st.